Hi everyone, it's your girl Whitney Luna, and the topic of today is spiritual depression, why it happens, what the causes are, and how we can fix it. Now, I want to start off by saying that this is after separation, this is after dark night of the soul. This is when you get to the point where you know what it is that you're meant to do in order to stay in alignment or to reach inner alignment. You're working towards your goals or whatever it is that you're meant to do on this journey, but you're still noticing that some days you feel a little bit off. There's still something, you still have your days where you feel really heavy, you feel really depressed, you have a hard time getting out of bed. And I'm here to say, if you've already had those days where you feel great, you feel energized, there's probably something that has fallen off a little bit, and the depression comes back to say, okay, either you fell off your schedule, you're not really keeping up the way you're meant to, or you're starting, the way that you're resting or relaxing is more of a mind numbing versus food for the soul. So for instance, my bad habit that I used to do even before the whole twin flame activation, which I realize now is more of a mind numbing versus actual genuine relaxation, was just watching reels. Yes, they're entertaining and they're excellent. I don't think it's bad to watch them at all. I just think it's not healthy to do it for a long period of time. Not that I was doing it for hours, but I just noticed that it was more of an escape versus genuine entertainment, if that makes any sense. And you'll start to be able to tell these things as you get further along on your journey, because like I said, you'll wake up the next day and you'll feel really heavy. You won't quite feel like yourself, and you'll be like, okay, what is it that I'm doing that's making me feel this way again? Okay, let's go back to the day before and see what we did wrong. See what needs to change. See what maybe habits still need to be changed. Okay? So that's definitely one thing. Another thing is you are purging a lot on this journey. Listen, this journey is full of so many changes, so many spiritual ascension symptoms, a lot of endings, a lot of beginnings. You might lose a job. You might have to change homes. You might lose friends. You might have been in a relationship and suddenly you realize that relationship just isn't working anymore. You may have even just been in the talking stage and realized that, suddenly they're not talking to you anymore. Or you don't feel like talking to them anymore. Like, there's a lot of changes that happen on this journey. So of course you're going to have days where you feel depressed, where you feel heavy, where you feel alone, where nobody else understands what you're going through. They're not meant to. This is your journey, and you are meant to, find yourself through all of this. So with all the purging and all the changes and all the depression, or all the changes, all the endings, all the beginnings, of course you might feel a little bit depressed. That's normal on this, but when it gets to the point where you're depressed all the time and you're falling back on your responsibilities and, things are not as they should be, that's when I do recommend reaching out for professional help. That is also very important, because at the end of the day, you are still a human being, and there are wonderful helpers out there that are willing to assist you during that time. So when it comes to this, the other thing is, like I said, you're purging a lot. You're changing old ways of thinking. You may have realized that certain ways of thinking were completely wrong. You might have been completely wrong in many instances. It's just a lot of realizations on this journey. And, it's stepping into your purpose requires self-esteem. And you can't have a healthy dose of self-esteem with all these negative and old ways of thinking. So as you step into your purpose, you're becoming more confident in who you are. You're feeling more confident. The old ways are dying. The changes are sometimes overwhelming. So like I said, becoming that confident person, it does take some time to get there. Okay. It does take a little bit of work. There's going to be tears. There's going to be sadness. There's going to be some heavy days, but just know that, it's not a linear healing process. I remember I saw this meme, and it said what people think energy healing is, and then it showed pictures of like beautiful crystals and crystals on the body, and then it says what energy healing actually is, and it shows or awakening actually is, and it shows like all these crazy lines and people crying and screaming. I'm like, okay, not that that's what it can be. I mean, it can be like that for some, but for the most part, it's just, you're just dealing with so many emotions. Your lower chakras are purging. You're the divine feminine. You're clearing the lower chakras, and this is the seat of your emotions. So a lot of old emotions that were stagnant, that were blocked, that were pushed away and ignored are suddenly coming up, and you are feeling those. Okay? That's where a lot of this comes from. as well as not being in alignment with your purpose. Okay, so make sure that every day you got to keep this energy moving. Even if you just go for a walk. Even I noticed just calling a good friend of mine and having a good conversation with a good friend of mine. What else is there? Taking a good spiritual bath, like drinking water. You got to make sure that you stay hydrated. That's, you got to keep the lower chakras clear. You got to drink your water. I'm telling you, that keeps the energy moving. Like, you really need to focus on that. Because, it's like I said, it can either mean that there's an imbalance, or it can mean that you're going through an intense purge, and you will know the difference, because at this point you'll be very in touch with your spiritual side. You'll be very in touch with your higher self. So you will know the difference. It's your job to make the changes that need to happen, or do the self-pampering that needs to happen during that purge. So yeah, I hope this video made sense, and I hope I helped someone out there that was struggling, because I can tell you right now, even on my journey with this, there have been so many times where I've thought about deleting my channel, just because I'm like, well, I don't really have that many subscribers, and it's like, am I even really making a difference? And I'm just in that negative headspace. Mind you, I love every single one of my subscribers. Just let me put that out there. I'm so thankful. But then, I think, and I'm like, you know what, even if I only had 2 followers, if I only had 2 people watching my videos who said that I helped them, I would still make videos. So you can't get into that negative headspace, because it'll completely pull you off your path. And that's not what we want. We want you to be strong. We want you to live in the present. That's another thing. Another thing that can cause this depression is either living too much in the past or living too far in the future. Really focus on the present. That's another big thing, because sometimes the present is what you need to focus on, the certain changes that need to happen. You're too focused on the future, the past. You're numbing your mind with things that are unhealthy, that aren't really feeding your spirit. So that's another thing. Make sure that you're really present in the moment as well, okay, to stay out of that negative headspace. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I love you guys so much. Take care.